Welcome to TSDO Reacts. We're not going to waste time with a lot of chit chat. Let's get straight into the video.
Hey America, since World War III is about to start tonight, and since Trump is gonna actually hit Iran, I just got something to say. If you voted for Kamala, remember, this is not your fight, and remember, this is not your fault. This is for Trump supporters to clean up, and by clean up, well, I guess that means you need to go sign up for the military. And before y'all go sit there and say, nah, fuck that shit. Y'all wanted to vote for Trump for all your goddamn reasons and stuff. Well, look at where we are now as a country. We might get blown to smithereens freaking by tomorrow. I'm just saying. All because you guys wanted to be that way. But you know what? It's okay. You guys can make it up to the American people by going to go fight that war. And when the draft does happen, I hope they raise it all the way up to 70. Because you know what I'm going to just tell you? You better add a switch to your damn wheelchair. You better add some rockets. You better add some AI. I don't know what else technology we can add to your shit, but you better add that too. Because you know what? You're going to need all the help you can get. I don't care. I'm not fighting. I voted for Kamala, so that means I'm automatically exempt from the draft. I don't care what none of y'all say. I'm not fighting. Fuck that shit.
Start taking the niggas who do MMA, the niggas with 13 hats in the hood. I just started getting money, bro. I'm not finna lose this shit because y'all wanted to fight niggas. Shit, take JD.
The young man has a point. The young man has a point. We didn't ask for this.
I mean, I'm a little bit old and dusty, and I'm not legally allowed to touch a firearm, but if it came down to it and we needed people, they wouldn't have to draft me, bro. I would jump in if they made some sort of exception. Let anybody bring that fight to our soil and threaten our people here, and I'll just make that exception myself.
That man has a point. That man has a point.
Good morning, everyone. There was something buried in Project 2025 that we need to talk about. Earlier this year, I broke down every single part of the education portion of Project 2025 and gave it to parents in an easy to understand way. Surprise, surprise, this involves public school students and the military, and it wasn't in the education portion. Within the portion on national defense, we find that high school students, public high school students only, not your private school kiddos, public school students will now be required to take the ASVAB, the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. It is a test that is going to say if your child has the skill set needed to join the armed services.
What's the skill set needed to join the armed services? And what would make that different from the private school students?
And normally this test is optional, but underneath Project 2025, it is mandatory now for all high school students, all public high school students. Private school kiddos do not have to take this test. Why? Because those wealthy families, they don't want their kids going to war. They want their kids going to college, that same college that they're telling you you shouldn't send your kid to. This test is about recruitment, even if the plan says that it is not. This is a known military recruitment tool, and scores will be shared with recruiters. This test, according to the plan, will be required for all public school students. So what could this mean for your students? This means that our public schools could be shifted from being college and vocational career ready to military ready. Surveillance of military recruiters onto high schools is going to increase. And our public schools are going to become a breeding ground for our Army. This isn't just about a test. This is about taking public education and shifting it towards military needs. It's going to quietly push military goals into the classroom to gear students to be able to pass the ASVAB. And let's be honest, 90% of the students in the United States attend public schools. And now 90% of the students are going to be sharing their budget with charter schools and private schools, which was voted on by 90% of the parents. Those 90% of the parents now are going to have children that are going to have to take an aptitude test to see if they are going to be able to go into the military, and it will quietly leave out private school students. This should alarm you. This should alarm you.
Very alarming.
Should alarm you. Have a great day.
Vietnam was the last time that the military draft was enacted. Prior to that, you have World War One and World War II. If this is your first time watching me, guys, my name is Jay. I'm a retired U.S. Army Green Beret, and the intent behind this channel is to share knowledge and wisdom with the next generation. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to help me reach that goal. Also, if you're interested in going to Special Forces Assessment and Selection, make sure you check out greenberetchronicles.com. There you'll find a variety of different programs geared towards helping you prep so you could attend and crush Special Forces Assessment and Selection. So if you haven't heard this news, the House just recently passed a bill that will automatically sign young men between the age of 18 to 26 up for the military draft. So as it stands right now, guys, if you're between the age of 18 to 25, you're supposed to sign up for the military draft. You're supposed to go down to your local post office and you're supposed to sign up for selective services. Although it's mandatory, it's not really reinforced. As of right now, technically, if you haven't signed up, you would be committing a felony. But the government has caught on to this. And they're like, okay, we can't trust these young men to do it themselves. So now we're going to just do it automatically. And they're going to do this by using government systems like the DMV and other government systems, Social Security, whatever, that collects information on demographics, right? They're just going to use that information and then automatically sign you up without you even knowing, right? You'll probably get a piece of paper in the mail that says, hey, you just turned 18, you've been signed up for selective services or military draft, and you need to hold on to this card just in case we need you, we'll call you, right? That's how that's going to work. So this piece of legislature is part of a bigger national defense bill that got passed for fiscal year 2025. So it's passed the House, now it's going to the Senate, which is Democrat heavy. And once it gets to the Senate, there's been a lot of articles out there that states that the Senate is now going to require females to sign up for the draft come 2025. And they state that they're doing this because they want the draft or selective services process to be fair and partial to all. Now, when I hear this, we all know what that means. The draft will never be fair because as long as there's politicians pulling the strings and as long as there's billionaires and millionaires out there, they will always find a loophole to get their kids removed from that list. It happened during World War One. It happened during World War II. It happened during Vietnam, and it damn sure is going to happen if, for whatever reason, we ever get to the point where we enact the draft. So that's the news, guys. I wanted to bring it to your attention because we're all invested in this, right? We all have kids that we want to protect and that we want to make sure that, become something, right? Joining the military should be a choice that every individual makes themselves. The power of having a all-volunteer force is powerful. I don't believe in the draft process. That's just my opinion. I don't believe in the draft, right? I think when people choose to be there, they choose to, sign the dotted line and raise their hand and say, hey, sent me. A couple of things are going to happen. They're going to fight harder and they're going to leave it all on the battlefield, right? If you make people go and you force them to go to war, you're going to lose a lot of dudes because one, they don't want to be there, and two, their heart's not in it. So 100% I'm against this whole draft business, right? But if you look at it from a strategic standpoint, you'll see that the military industrial complex, they're making moves. You look at Russia, Ukraine. Dude, I don't care how much money we give to Ukraine as a military dude, Ukraine's going to fall, right? They're not going to be successful. You look at Israel, Palestine. You look at Africa. You look at what's going on around the world, and you can easily see those pieces fitting together. They're like, holy shit, are we heading for some big conflict? And I think the people that are working on these bills, they're putting contingency plans in place because they're like, all right, we look at the current landscape. Recruiting is at an all-time low. Individuals are becoming more aware of the military industrial complex. They see how we pulled out of Afghanistan. They see how we did our partners in Syria and around the world. They're like, man, we're not really in this for the right reason. I, as an 18-year-old, don't want to go to war. I'd rather go to college, learn a trade, and then go out there and fucking crush it and make millions of dollars. Like, a lot of these young individuals are starting to have that mindset. So now the government or the power that be is saying, you know what? Gotcha, bitch. Let me make this automatic. Let me make this not only mandatory, but I'm going to take the decision out of your hands and sign you up myself to make sure that it gets done. And in the event that all hell breaks loose, we got bodies to pull from. I can just send you a little piece of paper in the mail that says, hey, you've been drafted, show up to this place. And if you don't, I'm locking you up. So they're strategically putting shit in place to make sure that if shit hits the fan, you're on the hook. Guys, let me know what you think about this right here, because it's passed the House. It's more than likely going to go past the Senate, and it's going to become law. All right. The kids that you have right now that are of age or they fall within that bracket, they're automatically going to be enrolled. So you as a father, as a mother, you're going to get that piece of note in the mail that says, hey, your kids has been signed up for the draft, right? Let me know what you guys think, and let me know why you think they're doing this and where you think this is going.
Okay, this is what I have to say. My thought. The politicians who voted for this, let them be the first choice. The people whose private school kids that don't have to do any of that, from the last video and this clip right here, let them be the first choice. The ones who are in college from public schools or in public school planning to go to college, you know, if you're going to make this rule or whatever, go ahead and take your kids, your political children, let them go first, and then pull from those who want to go, have a choice, let them decide to go after your politician kids and your children go first. Let them go first. They go first, and then we'll choose if we want to go. And all of y'all who planned this ahead of time, before we even had a chance to even think about, and wouldn't even think about World War III, because all we think about is, you know, TikTok dancing and all that stuff. Y'all plan this, so y'all do it first. Y'all do it first, because this ain't right. It ain't cool. I want to press it. It's ridiculous. Let's keep going to the next video. Oh, piss me off.
Some of y'all don't know, they're going to start a military draft soon. Yeah, they're going to start a military draft soon. So be prepared to get your ass on that plane or bus to go to the military. Your ass is involved in this war. Yep. You the oldest boy in the family and the second oldest boy, whatever, however it goes, you going to war, bro. So all you young niggas that want to bust guns and shoot pistols, you YNs, y'all going to. You got to come to 18 and older. And I don't know if y'all know, but some people that did not go back then for World War II, you had two options. Go to war or go to prison. Yeah. Look it up if you think I'm lying. Look it up if you think I'm lying. Y'all ass better be ready, bro. This shit going down. I told y'all 2 weeks ago this shit was gonna fucking happen, bro. I told y'all 2 weeks ago. So you had time to pack your shit and get ready for this draft. Y'all start packing y'all shit because you going.
Okay, so it's 2025 and my grandma's scared one of us might get sent off to war. She threw my name in the pot. Let me tell you something. Because if somebody asks me what we should do, I'm going to say get a bag and everybody's weapons just goes in the bag and nobody can fight. Because wars, in my opinion, are like we're not in a different era to where we don't go to war. Like, I'm just trying to figure out why this is still even an option. Why is war still an option? Because I'm in my middle school t-shirt and a waist trainer with cheetah print pants on, about to make bacon. I'm not built for that.
What? This can't be. So that wasn't a good idea? Who even knew that he would do something like that?
That's crazy.
Did you know about this? I'm bewildered. I never thought this would happen in a million years. They seemed like such good guys. This is so unlike them. No.
You can't trust them, man.
They wouldn't be in charge if they were capable of something like this.
Oh, boy.
Right? Right?
The most common question and concern that I'm getting in my DMs right now is from teenagers concerned about being drafted. And I know that there's a lot of anxiety. People are feeling stressed out and overwhelmed right now. It is natural to automatically think of the draft. This is something that every single generation thinks of anytime that there's a conflict. So let's talk about what's true and what is just fear and speculation. Because there's a lot of overthinking happening right now, and we are getting stuck in a spiral and stuck in our thinking traps. So first of all, there's no military draft in place right now. The military has been all volunteer-based since 1973. And there's no serious legislation to bring back a draft. It would take an act of Congress and then a signature from the president, and it is a very long and public process. There is nothing imminent like that happening right now. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, Congress was supposed to authorize this too. Congress was supposed to authorize that too. It didn't happen. Who's to say this won't? No one. But we can't focus on the things that we can't control. So then let's talk about the fact that the military looks vastly different than it did the last time there was a draft. Technology has changed things tremendously. It is no longer necessary to have millions of boots on the ground in order to accomplish something. It's still needed, yes, but it's not like it was. And even if a draft were hypothetically reinstated, there are a lot of protections in place. There's health issues to be considered. There's familial obligations, caregivers, student status, exemptions, and deferences. In the grand scheme of things, the majority of people who were involved in conflicts in the past have not been drafted. Finally, it's okay to be scared. The world feels heavy sometimes. And social media, I'm sorry, Aaron Parnas, I love you, but breaking news is really dysregulating, especially to our teenagers. So if you're a teenager watching this, I would not watch Aaron Parnas. I would watch Under the Desk News. Under the Desk is calming, even-toned. However, it is a little biased. But if you're looking for something that's not going to dysregulate you while you're getting information, then that's a good source. Because everything on social media can make you feel overwhelmed. It makes things seem urgent. This is going to happen right now, today, and that's not what's happening. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to pause. You cannot carry all of this weight on your own, and other people have gone through this before you and are going through this with you. If you're feeling anxious, talk about it. Name it. I'm feeling this way because what can I do about it? Regulate yourself and ground yourself. I could even do some grounding videos here if necessary. And lastly, there's power in community and healing through connection. So if you don't feel like you have anybody that you can talk to around you, there's a bunch of people on this app that would love to talk to you. If you just go to my comments on that big video that I made yesterday, there are so many teenagers being like, I'm scared and anxious, what can I do? And a lot of adults are holding space for them and telling them that what they're feeling is normal, what they're feeling is valid, and how they can regulate themselves. And showing them that, hey, we've been through this a few times before. It's scary, but we got you. I'll make a video on media resources next, but I hope that this helped with that situation.
Will there be a draft in the United States for the military anytime soon? The last time the United States military drafted was in 1973. Since then, there has been no military drafts. However, with the new wars and escalating tensions around the United States, it's something to talk about. So, the United States military has had a reduction in their numbers and enlistments from 2012 to 2022, ranging from at the beginning of 2012 to 1.4 million all the way down to 1.3 million. That's a 6% reduction, according to the internet. So, hey, do you think that's a possibility now that we have these wars coming up? I don't know. It seems like this generation isn't really as interested in the military as in previous generations. It seems like they're just not interested. They're more aware, they're more alert, they're more cognizant of situations around the world, and they just don't want to be part of it. While others are interested, have had a recent uptick in the last 2 years of military service, whether that's because of job layoffs, difficulty finding a job, COVID, bonuses that the military has been offering. What are your thoughts? Are you in the military? Are you a recruitment officer? What is your thoughts on the recent events and recruitment process? Let me know in the comments section. I'm curious. Lockdown out. Peace.
Fuck Iran, bitch, we did World War I, and we did World War II. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No cap.
You're gonna get drafted. What? I'm about to get drafted?
You're under 25 too, right?
Yeah.
You might be cooked.
Wait, why? What if I say I have like special needs or some shit?
Yo, real talk, this is a genuine question. Since there's a possible chance of World War III starting, especially since Trump just did something to it on, and you know they'll probably try to draft all the 18 plus men in the US if this happens, like a war happens, I genuinely want to know, are the people of our generation actually going to go for that? Because this is a different generation. Like, all jokes aside, I can see a possible civil war happening if they try to draft us, because I don't see the people of my generation just, oh, let's go to war over something like this. They're not going to want to go to a war over this. I can genuinely see a civil war breaking out because of this or something like that. What do y'all think? Because I just can't see it. Us TikTok kids and all that, agreeing to go to war or whatever, over some old men beefing or whatever. I just can't see that happening, genuinely. I don't think people are going to go for that, like a big amount of people. So if this does happen, I'm genuinely curious because, one, I'm not going for that. Gonna have to lock me up. And I'm sure a lot of other people aren't as well. So yeah, what do you think?
I'd like to officially withdraw my application from the 2025 World War III draft pick, and here's some reasons why. I personally can't commit to plans for next weekend. A global conflict just seems like too much commitment for me. Just can't do it. Reason number two, I can't run without headphones. So if these beats die, I'm dying too. I can't do it. Reason number three, I sleep through 10 alarms. I don't think air raid sirens will cut it. I'll just be useless out there. Reason number four, I barely survived the breakup from 2 years ago. Like, you think I'm built for World War III? Reason number five, I've already been emotionally drafted by capitalism. I'm way too tired. I don't have the energy to go to war.
Breaking news. This is the list of the people that we're drafting if the U.S. goes to war with Iran. Number 1 on this list is Trump supporters. You guys wanted to make America great again, so this is your chance. Number 2 on this list is drill rappers. You guys always ready for war, so you got to send them out there. Number 3 on this list is the people that do TikTok dances. Number 4 on this list, which should be number 1 or number 2, is your ex and the in-laws. Number 5 on this list is the crackheads. The crackheads always looking for something to do, always looking for something to flip. So give them enough money, they'll come back and they'll enjoy themselves. So let's let the crackheads go over there. Number 6 on this list is the person that owes you money and never has it every time you ask for it back and gets mad. Number 7 on this list are the girls that eat hot Cheetos in the morning and are loud as hell. Number 8 on this list, stepdads. Stepdads, you guys are the ones that, you know, we got to put y'all on that list. 100%. Stepdads. Number 9 on this list are the people that wear coats in 90-degree weather and ski mask. You guys are the first one going. Number 10 on this list is anybody that owns a Dodge. Number 11 on this list is all the Indian scammers and all the Nigerian scammers. I'm sorry. Bye.
So let's talk about something nobody's really prepared for. The medical draft. Yeah, you heard that right. Most people know about the military draft when young men get called to fight, but what they don't talk about is the medical draft. If a war breaks out and our healthcare system gets overwhelmed, licensed healthcare providers, nurses, doctors, medics, we can be pulled in fast. If you hold a license, you're eligible. It doesn't matter if you work bedside, outpatient, in a school, or even in a clinic. You could be mobilized. And no, it's not optional if it becomes a federal mandate. And here's the scary part. We're already drowning in short staffing, trauma, and burnout. Now imagine that in a war zone. No PTO, no safe space, just you and nonstop casualties. That's why this matters. Nurses and healthcare workers need to start preparing. Not just physically, but mentally. We are just responders. We are national assets in crisis. So if you've never heard of the medical draft, it's time to start reading up, because if things escalate, it's not a question of if, it's when.
Here are some things that will disqualify you from getting drafted. 1. Insanity. You cannot be drafted if you are clinically insane. Number 2. Headaches, but not exactly headaches. It's headaches that are painful enough to make you immobile. Number 3 and 4, being deaf and blind. Obviously, you cannot be drafted if you cannot see or hear. Number 5, something I didn't even know, total loss of nose. You cannot be drafted if you do not have a nose. You also can't be drafted if you don't have a tongue as well. Total loss of tongue. Also, if you don't have a certain number of teeth, you do not qualify for the draft. Another one would be incurable diseases and tumors. You cannot get drafted if you have an incurable disease, or if you have cancer, you will not get drafted. Kind of adds on to what I said earlier, loss of arm, forearm, hand, thigh, leg, or foot. So any lost limbs, you will not get drafted. A lot of people know about this last one, which is club feet. In Forrest Gump, he couldn't get drafted because flat feet. I think that's the same.
If I was a male between the ages of 18 and 25, I would go and get a medical diagnosis from a doctor or physical disability diagnosis from a doctor, and I would do it as soon as possible. Being that Israel is doing what they're doing at this point, I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to try and drag the United States into this war with them. I remember last year they were trying to pass Bill HR 8070. It had a lot of information in it about service members and some things about the military and medical military and all that stuff. But one of the main things that I noticed that it had in it was the fact that it would automatically register males between the ages of 18 to 25 for selective service. They didn't have to notify anybody. It would automatically do it at the age of 18. Now, the House of Representatives did pass this bill, but ultimately it did not go through Senate, so it's still pending, which means it could still be passed. But the only thing that could keep you from being drafted if you're 18 to 25 years of age is if you have a disability, a medical disability from a doctor, or a physical disability that you have been diagnosed by a doctor. Even going to college cannot exempt you from being drafted. If they need enough people and you are able-bodied, you can be drafted between the ages of 18 and 25. And the way this administration's going, I have no doubt in my mind that it could get to this point. We have 3.5 years left. So there's no telling. Things are popping off, and it's bound to happen at this point.
Pause. Okay, what I took from the last few videos. If you don't have a certain amount of teeth, then you can't get drafted. With that being said, all you guys with grills and it's all messing up your teeth and all that stuff, hey, you're exempt. Or go to the dentist right now and get like all these teeth on the side pulled out. I mean, that'll save you. I wouldn't be opposed to cutting out some fingers and some toes. I mean, chopping off something if it'll save you from going out there and fighting for something that ain't got nothing to do with you. The people who like to play with guns all the time, they might want to go. I mean, you know, they might want to go, but they might not have to go because if they were to be evaluated by a psychological examiner, they might not qualify. That's what I got in the last couple of videos. People that don't have a tongue, I mean, you can't say no, but you can't say yes. I ain't messing with nobody that ain't got no tongue. I'm just saying, you know, if you're missing an ear, if you got migraine headaches, you know, you might want to tell some right now. Anybody who don't want to get drafted, go to the doctor and start complaining right now. Everything needs to be documented. That's all I got to say. Let's go back to the video.
I'm going to make a prediction. MAGA kids are going to end up with bone spurs because pansy parents raise pansy kids. That's why Barron Trump will never go to war, because his father's a pansy coward who dodged the draft how many times?
Here's a list of people I think should get drafted first if we were to go to war. If you have ever bullied somebody in elementary school, middle school, high school, if you were a bully, drafted. Oh, but it was just a kid. I don't care. I was a kid too, and I've never treated people like that. If you catch somebody in a lie and you literally know that they're lying and you tell them that you know that they're lying and they still double down and lie, drafted. Anybody who buys their children puppies for Christmas or birthdays and then rehomes them within a year. That is your family, and you better have a damn good reason if you are rehoming your pets. Drafted. My friend group from the 4th grade needs to be drafted. Any member of the U.S. Congress and Supreme Court. Any person that has no spatial awareness and they stand way too close to you in public. Boyfriends who are so insecure they don't let their girlfriends hang out with their friends or wear whatever they want. Hairdressers that are charging $200+ for a haircut. People who make up stories or like excuses for no reason. Like there is literally no reason to lie, but they just feed off of you believing them.
I'm sorry. The one good thing.
Pause. Gaslighters. They should be drafted. Put them on the front line. Gaslighters. Narcissists. They should be drafted. Put them on the front line. Those gaslighters who call you a narcissist or a gaslighter. Those narcissists who call you a narcissist or a gaslighter. Those two groups should be on the front line along with the drill rappers and those people who like to carry guns all the time for no reason. Front line. Let's get back to the video.
About being a woman in 2025 is I'm currently not draftable. You mean to tell me that there's a draft system specifically for medical personnel? The HCPDS? I am actually sick. What the heck?
What I'm about to talk about, I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm just trying to give my opinion on something, right? With all that's going on right now, and if I had a son that was 18 to 25 years old, I'd be majorly concerned. And I've debated people on here and debated people, and I'm about to show you something. This is actually Project 2025. And if you don't think they're going to follow this guideline, I can't help you believe that. You know, but this first couple lines I'm going to show you is showing you the fact that they are going to make it mandatory for public school students to take the military entry exam. Folks, they're not going to do that just for the hell of it, all right? But read this first, just so you know, this is actually out of the project.
Take your time to read that. I'm not reading it for you. I'm sorry.
It will be required, all right? And it will only be for public school students. Now, read this. This is just for the U.S. Army right here, okay? Read this line right here. Again, these are straight out of the book.
You can pause and read that one too.
Increase the U.S. Army by 50,000 troops. And be able to handle two different contingencies going on at the same time. So let's get ready not only to fight one war, let's fight two wars at the end of one on this corner of the globe and one on this corner. Let's have that capability. Folks, 50,000 troops added to the Army under normal conditions would be high. You do have years that fluctuate. Biden, his last year, he exceeded expectations. Like, he met that. But that, under Donald Trump and everything that's going on, I don't see how they could get to that number. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But if we go into this Middle East conflict and the draft is reinstated, it's going to be 18 to 25 years old. All right, they're going to take the 20-year-olds first. Then they go 21, 22, all the way to 25. Then they come back down to 19, then 18. We have 17 million young men in that bracket total. So I'm not sitting here telling you we're going to run through, you know, every young man in that age bracket would be drafted. But just to give you an idea, World War II, 10 million were drafted. But our military had much more active service members in it. Right now we have 1.3 million active service members. Just to give you a reference, when Vietnam first started, we had 3.5 million. So we're going to have to recruit more, or at least if we did have reinstate the draft, we'd have to draft more. And I know that there's a big difference between now and then with modern warfare and things, but going back and reading, I think there was an article, damn, I can't remember. I may do a whole different thing on that, but just on a if World War III had happened or does happen, where do we take the number from 1.3 to what? I just, in my opinion, with what I'm reading in this project and what I'm seeing happening in this world, I think there's a hell of a chance that it gets reinstated. And right now, if I had a son in that age bracket, I might convert to Buddhism really fast. And that may sound awful that I said that. I'm not going to war, or my son's not going to war for Donald Trump. Or the rest of these Christian nationalists who think that they can send our poor kids off to war. Oh, and by the way, I want to mention something. You know who else to get drafted? undocumented immigrants. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I just thought I'd throw that in there. But anyways, I didn't make this video to scare you. I want to throw it out there, man, because I think it's gonna happen, unfortunately.
If you're a man between the ages of 18 to 25, you're at a really high risk right now of being drafted for World War III. Donald Trump just announced a key escalating event where the United States has obliterated Iran's key nuclear facilities, and more likely than not, this is going to lead to World War III. So here's what we need to know. If you are in the military, you're going to war. First and foremost, I'm so sorry to tell you this. If you have joined the United States military and you are either active duty or in reserves, more likely than not, you're going to war. And in addition to that, the United States does not have the allies that we need to be able to actually win this war, which means that we could very likely see the first draft since the Vietnam War. We don't know exactly how the system is going to work as far as who's going to be pulled first at this point, but I'll keep everyone updated. And this is still especially alarming even if you don't fall into that category of 18 to 25-year-old men. Miller came out saying that he wants the country to have only 100 million people that look like him. So if you are mentally ill, LGBT, a minority, if you are not born in America, or, you know what, even if you're just a random male, 18 to 25, you're either going to war, a concentration camp, or a wellness farm. Are we great yet?
You want a war with Iran? Great. Who's going? Because I'll tell you who won't be going. The senators voting for it, the pundits cheering it on, and the billionaires profiting from it. They'll all be just fine. They always are. They'll beat their chests and froth at the mouth about sending a message to Iran from the comfort of an air-conditioned television studio, while active duty service members like my husband are the ones who get sent to die for the sake of their polling numbers and TV ratings. Meanwhile, military families like mine, we're the ones who pack the bags. We're the ones who count the days. We're the ones who cry into our pillows and pray the phone doesn't ring in the middle of the night. And we do all of that while these cowards on TV talk about war like it's a damn board game, like they're not gambling with our loved ones' lives. We've done this before, America, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and every single time they lie. They send in the troops, and then they leave us to pick up the pieces. So no, we're not doing this again. Military families are fed up. Did you know that 2/3 of active duty military families today say we wouldn't encourage our own children to enlist? The U.S. government has relied on military families to provide the next generation of recruits since our country was founded. But we're done with that. So what happens when enlistment tanks even more now that signing the dotted line could mean getting sent to the front lines yet again? Where do you think the pretty princesses beating their chests in Congress will get bodies from then? They'll bring back the draft. Or they'll double down on exploiting desperate students with medical debt and minimum wage jobs and no other way out. They'll raid the south side of Chicago, the Colonias in Texas, the Res, the trailer park, wherever they think kids are too poor to say no. But this time, we're not going along with it. So hey, Washington, you want war? Draft your sons. Draft the rich. Draft the Ivy League legacy kids and the hedge fund heirs. If war is worth it, it should be worth it for everyone. But hey, we all know that you won't, because you know damn well it's not.
Let's just pay attention here for a moment, okay, folks? As a millennial, and a lot of millennials are on this app trying to tell the younger audience, which is predominantly on this app, you need to stay vigilant and not pay attention to what a lot of mainstream people are going to be saying on Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, OAN, if it's even that, etc. And the reason being is because they love war. They love it. They love it. You know who else loves it? Defense contractors. And that's the main reason why we go and bomb places like this. Not only because the empire wants to displace and kill more brown people, it's because Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, etc. make so much money off of stuff like this. Palantir, add them in as well. They make so much money. The other part about this that is very, very important is that as a millennial, we witnessed the Iraq War. And we saw how they manufactured consent through the press and press briefings that, oh, WMDs, they have WMDs. What happened? They killed millions of people in the Middle East and did not find any weapons of mass destruction. It was a failure on our part, a failure on the part of the empire, but they're doing it again. And the other reason this is so very important, okay? And the modern day WMDs are sleeper cells, and the nuclear bomb that Iran has, which we don't even know if they do. Trump's own intelligence reports state otherwise, that it's years away. And the bombs that they have right now cannot reach us. But nonetheless, the other very important part about this is that this is serving as a big, beautiful distraction, if I say so myself, to the Trump administration's failures stateside and, for example, the ICE raids. Members of the Democratic Party being killed by MAGA loyalists. A Democratic senator being arrested. People being abducted. Sent to places they have never even been to. Egg prices being bad. Grocery prices being bad. Us barely being able to live. Selling off land to the highest bidder that are supposed to be nationally protected parks. I mean, I could go on and on. It is a distraction, and it is also complete and utter BS.
Listen, you gonna listen to bro. I told y'all they was after y'all children. You see, the House passed a law that requires automatic registration for all men. The Senate version would expand that to women as well. The age range is from 18 to 26. These are all the people, right, that aren't joining the military. This age range is what they want. And I told you this. Who do you think the majority is in America? It is the Black Americans. So if this goes into effect, they are trying to push the majority, which is the Black American, back into the war because they can't fight this war without you guys. And so I want you to also to understand this. If you're a follower of my page, you would know that I've been going viral telling the world that India and Iran, these places are all walking distance from America. Now, wasn't America the same people who left those $1 billion worth of military equipment in Iraq? I was the one that showed the world that Chirac, Chicago, is literally not that far from Iraq. So, what if it's us, and I mean them, because for some reason they are the American representation, so I'm going to say them, but what if it's them setting up and scripting the world the way it is? Because if Iraq and Iran are walking distance, then I'm pretty sure that us, as in them, have something to do with what's taking on right now. What if they're staging the world for to try to force your children into the military? But even still, we still not going. You can do all that extra shit that you trying to do to stage the world, to put it into your perspective. We still not going. And then what are you going to do if the whole world decides not to show up? You're cooked. No one gives a damn about this bill. It's not for the people. It's for their own agenda, right? Because they still want to be able to control where the money is going, how much money goes towards the military. If we don't have nobody going to the military, then the military is not going to get no money. And if the military is not getting no money, then they might get shut down. See what I'm saying? And then if the military gets shut down, that is the governing force that gives Trump his so-called power. So if Trump's military goes down because he doesn't have enough people in order to run the military, then that means then Trump's reign of presidency has no protection, has no authority. Therefore, who really cares about our president or the bill? Because when this shit really hits the fan, right, the powers that be, that these governing, that our military and that our president holds is going to be destroyed simply because black men decide not to show up. That's crazy.
Okay, pause. I'm still kind of on the fence with going through the Grand Canyon and ending up in a whole nother country. I'm still trying to figure that out. So that's a rabbit hole that they would call that I would like to, find out more about. If we were to think about this draft situation or this war situation or whatever is to come, think about it like how we participated in a certain person's birthday parade. I mean, I'm just, for entertainment purposes, just throwing that out there. How many people showed up for that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Entertainment purposes, that's all. Let's get back to the video.
Hi, it's Yazzie, your resident history buff. We are in war. Fun. That was a joke. Nothing about this is funny or fun or cute or honestly, like, I can't even laugh at the jokes that hard because this directly affects us. Yeah, we all hate men and we talk shit and yeah, we hate men. But think about the niggas in your life you really, really care about. Your brother, your cousin, your best male friend. If they get drafted, I have to go with him. I'm so sorry. What? My dad, about a couple months ago, he made a really good point. Because he was I've lived through 2 drafts. I was included in one. The day that they start drafting women, we're losing badly. And we're not going to take it on the chin. And I was that's kind of sexist though. What, blah, 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 blah. And my dad was no, it's because y'all make babies. Y'all are the givers of life. Yes, we give you the juice to do it. But now that we've come so far in science, y'all can do it on your own. The worst thing I ever did was tell my dad that women can make sperm out of our bone marrow. I think that he forgets the part in his head where I said that that extracting bone marrow is actually very painful. So not only am I extracting the bone marrow to make the baby, I still have to release the baby from my body, which is also the most pain that the human body can feel and not die. And the closest that men feel to that is a kidney stone passing. Because when y'all were showing us your lunches in the military last week, talking about some surf and turf and asparagus and mashed potatoes, we're just do they go into the military not knowing what the procedure is? Y'all about to get drafted. Do y'all know if you're about to go to fucking war? Feeding you that good meal because, bitch, it's about to be MREs until you die or for the next 3-4 years. But first thing first, I want to be very clear. Protect yourself. Don't fight for us. There's nothing to fight for. There's nothing to fight for. This is the first war that I'm 26. I was born in 99. So wherever you were born, if you are within me, this is the first war that our generation has been alive for that directly affects us fully to the point where you educate yourself on what the fuck this is even about. This has nothing to do with us. Protect yourself and your comrades. Not treason if the country is treasonous. Keep that statement in mind. It's not treason if what? The country's already committing treason. Protect yourself. Protect your homies that you came out with. That is it. Don't think about the people at home. Don't fight for us. This has nothing to do with us. 15-year-old little white boys that with one AR can take out half a high school in 30 fucking minutes. Don't worry about us. We got us. We are fine. Worry about yourselves. This has nothing to do with us. And hopefully you're on the side of the people that joined the military just to, get the fuck out of where their town was and to get the benefits and shit. This has nothing to do with us. This has nothing to do with you. Fight to protect yourself. Do not fight to protect America. America is protected. And if we are not, then the protected ones will just leave and go to another protected place. And remember, ladies, if they start drafting us into the military, we're losing really, really, really badly. Good luck, Charlie.
Breaking news from Washington. The United States is on the verge of reinstating the military draft for all men fit to serve, starting at age 18.
So what would you say are some of your biggest weaknesses? That's a great question. Ooh, where do I begin? There's so many of them. Okay, so let me just start with the fact that I have very flat feet. So physically, it is very easy for people to chase me down. And then as soon as they capture me, another weakness that I have is that I will just give up whatever information they want immediately. As soon as pressure is applied to me, I will just give people whatever they need. So that's a problem. Another weakness, I'm a huge coward. All right. And how about your biggest strengths? Oh yeah, that's a much shorter list. I would say my biggest strength that I can think of off the top of my head is that I am fantastic at the art of betrayal. I am the type of person where I will build up all your trust as much as I need, and then as soon as I get that trust, I'll just stab you in the back. Okay, how about this? If you had to compare yourself to one historical figure, who would it be? That is a great question. I love that question. Two guys come to mind right away. First one, Judas. I absolutely love the way that he betrayed Jesus like that. I thought that was probably some of the best betrayal I've ever seen, and I'm a big fan of betrayal. The second one is Marcus Brutus. Similar concept, just absolutely love the way he gained Caesar's trust, and then just right when he turned his back, into the back. You look like you have some muscles on you. Are you in good shape? Oh, what, these? These are just vanity muscles. They don't do anything. I can't even bench half my body weight. My girlfriend carries my groceries. Also, did I mention that I'm a coward?
I'm a coward.
Get your bags, man. We dropped you for war.
Dropping who?
You.
For who?
For war. What do you mean for war?
I have asthma. I can't even breathe. I can't even run. I can't even do nothing. I get tired quickly.
We have a special mask for you that'll help you breathe.
Grab your bags. What about my leg? I be getting tired when I run. I have
What about
a
your
problem
leg?
with my. I can't run.
Yeah, we have robotic legs for you.
Robotic.
So that'll help you run fast. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Grab your bags.
What about my hearing aids? I can't even hear what's around me. I can't
Man,
hear.
we have everything there. We have aids for you. That'll help you hear.
I'm too young. I'm not of age to be drafted. Who
We
said?
have a younger training camp to develop the young guys so we can put them on the front lines, man.
What about the food? I'm a picky eater.
We have every fast food chain there and waiting for you.
You guys have Popeyes in the military?
Of course we have Popeyes. Grab your
I
bag.
didn't tell my mom and dad. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell
You
my mom.
already had them notified.
It's not funny.
They signed you off.
So here's a controversial idea. Why don't we tie selective service to the person that you vote for? That way, if a president does get us into a war, if you voted for them, you get shuffled to the top of any potential draft. This might help you think before going to the voting booth. Might make you prioritize diplomacy over strongman tactics. Let me know what you think in the comments.
You don't want to get drafted, huh? Okay. Well, you're probably too out of shape. How do I know that? A good indication is if the actual shape of you is bad. You're probably too dumb. What's a good indication of that? If you say axed instead of asked. And let's face it, you're probably too fat. Oh, how do I know if I might be too fat? Do you jiggle when you brush your teeth? Yeah, I bet you do, don't you, you little piggy? Yeah.
I'm laying in bed. I thought I'd share with you some reasons why you shouldn't draft me for the war. Number one, I'm literally so scared of the war. If I watch something scary before bed, I have to Google something nice to be able to go to sleep. Number two, I have generalized anxiety disorder. I go to therapy and stuff, but I'm anxious. Three, I have terrible eyes. I don't know if you can see that my head is a different shape because of these glasses. -8, you heard of that? They're thick boys. Anyways, does 1-800 contacts deliver to the Navy ship? Because these are not, I can't really do good work in these are my just before bed glasses. Number 4, I have IBS. I don't know what the trenches are, but if they have non-dairy milk, maybe I could think about it. Number 5, I broke my foot from running, trying to get physically fit. Number 6, I can't run because of my broken foot. And I have a weird back thing now because I've been walking crooked from my broken foot because that's where it was special shoot. Number 7, Tony Hawk comes out soon. Me and my friend have plans to play it together, so they're doing a remake that they're putting on the Xbox and PlayStation 4, so I gotta be around for that. Also, Animal Crossing 2 I think they're making, and I would like to try it. Number 9, I have a Diet Coke dependency thing. And I don't know how they deliver you supplies in the war, but I don't think they're putting MREs. I don't think the MREs have Diet Coke.
Number 10, I'm an AMC Stubs member and I have to see 4 movies. How many can you see? Anyways, I gotta get my money's worth. If I'm at the war, I can't go AMC. Of 11, I have bad aim. I was in a snowball fight as a kid, and my friends, I was not very good at it. My friends kept hitting me in the butt with snowballs, and they called me Heather the Wet Butt Girl. They still call me that now. I'm 32 years old. I text my friend right now, and she would call me that. 12, just a long list. I have no hand-eye coordination. I cut a girl on my basketball team once with my long nail when I was 13, then I quit basketball. Because I felt bad and also because I wasn't very good at it. They just had me kind of stand and put my arms up, do guarding because I was tall. Okay. I played Last of Us once. I kept accidentally pew-pewing Joel's brother on accident. So that's not a good person to have to the war. I never make my bed. I hear they do that there. They inspect your bed or whatever. I want Amanda. You can't just come here and inspect my bed. Not before marriage. And then finally, I do not support the war. And I literally wouldn't help them because I don't think we should do a war right now.
This is part 2 of a black veteran telling you how to avoid the draft. Things like flat feet, bone spurs, that disqualifies you for service. Don't believe me? Go ask Donald Trump. And aside from that, keep in mind, once again, the transgender thing. That's a big one. They won't rescind that because they rescind that in the same administration. That's lawsuits upon lawsuits upon lawsuits. We are all trans. If they ask me, are you agender? Are you transgender? Are you this gender, that gender? You know what my response gonna be? Yes.
Yes.
And if that don't work, you walk down to the recruiter station with a dog leash just like this, but don't have no freaking a dog attached to it. Be like, Coco come, Coco come, and then when the recruiter see you take a water bowl, you start putting water in it. And you pretend like the freaking dog is acting up. Be like, oh, I forgot. You only take commands to damn Swahili. Trust me, you are not qualified for service. And you'll be good, baby. You'll be good.
Dave Blunt just joined the U.S. military. Dave Blunt has been drafted by the U.S. military to be the next atomic bomb in World War III. And it actually seems like a lot of people are in support of this. 100,000 likes. Let me know down in the comments your opinion. Do you think Dave Blunt is going to be a good next atomic bomb? I mean, I thought the U.S. military had like thousands of atomic bombs, but apparently they're just going to use Dave Blunt's. Kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Smart decision. The impact would definitely be enough. Now, Dave Blunt has been getting a lot of hate like his entire career. And I think something like this, him like sacrificing himself for the better good, would actually save his career and reputation. I feel like a lot of people would have a lot of respect for him. We just drop him as the atomic bomb. Because first off, we would save a lot of atomic bombs because he like would count as like 10 of them. And also he would literally be known as saving the US from destruction. If we don't drop the atomic bomb, we're cooked. Like they're going to come attack us. If he can just fully take over and do it himself, he will save the entire world basically. Let me know what you'll think about this in the comments. I want to know your opinion.
I don't know what he was talking about. I mean, was that some kind of... I just didn't want him to be bullying that man. I don't know what he's talking about.
25. You are 18 to 25, you are cooked. You going to World War III. If you are 26 to 39, you are still cooked. Because the age cap's at 39. You going to World War III. If you have ADHD, you are cooked. You are going to World War III. If you have diabetes, congratulations, you ain't going to World War III. If you've ever been put in a mental facility, congratulations, you are not going to World War III. If you are in college, I'm sorry, you are cooked. They actually want you more for the draft because they want to put you in a specialized position. You are going to World War III. If you have a master's degree, you are cooked. If you dropped out of high school, you are safe from World War III. They don't want you. If you are a felon, you are not going to World War III. Now is the best time to be a felon. If you are LGBTQ, I'm sorry, you are cooked. You are still going to World War III. Now, if you're transitioning, you are safe. You are not going to World War III. If you are your only mother's son, I am sorry. You are cooked. You are going to World War III. If you are a woman, you are only half cooked because men are required to go first. But at any time, Congress can change legislation if they need more people. If you have kids, You are going to World War III. But if you're actively pregnant, you are not going to World War III. If you have major depressive disorder or severe anxiety, you got to be able to prove, it got to be documented, or you are cooked. If it's not documented, you going to World War III.
CNN breaking news. The United States has begun drafting civilians for World War
Hell
III.
no, man. I'm not trying to get drafted. Yes, hello?
Hey, son, this is General Manager Tex Johnson for the United States military. We're going to pick you up here in the second round. Shoot up for World War III.
No. Me no habla inglés.
You don't speak English?
Me no citizen.
You're not a citizen? I can have you here deported, son.
Deportation. Sí, deportation.
You better come waiting for ice on your doorstep, boy.
Okay, boss. If you have diabetes, you don't have to go to World War. Oh gosh, you don't have to be drafted. If you have mental anxieties, depression, and all of those things, go to your doctor and get it documented. We all have these anxious feelings, and I can tell you a panic attack is a real thing. They do not want you to be out there having panic attacks. If you have them now, you need to go get that information put in writing and be able to present it. You need to make sure that you take care of yourself first, okay? I'm not trying to tell you anything that is wrong. I'm trying to tell you that if you have issues and you haven't gone to the doctor for them yet, you may want to go ahead and go get that stuff checked out now. Get your information documented, because as we see, certain people aren't planning on going and protecting not a doggone thing but their wallet. So, certain people, we got to protect ourselves just like they're protecting themselves. All right, that's all I got to say. I'll keep going with the video. I might have to change the music on that one.
I can't put this one on, it's gonna mess up my hair. I ran. I can barely walk. Okay, but like, where do we plug in our chargers? My phone's on 3% and I literally can't fight like this. What do you mean this tank doesn't have Bluetooth? Whatever, just pass the aux cord. I literally have anxiety. You can't scream at me like that. So I don't get weekends off? I didn't realize this whole war thing was like full time. I have therapy and a facial appointment on Saturday.
TikTok and while it's in the
Alexa, tell Iran to stop.
TikTok.
Okay.
Frontline TikTok.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I can talk. Yeah, this place doesn't even have a Starbucks. Hey everyone, I'm live here in the trenches. The vibes are like way off. If I don't make it out, just tell everyone I was kind of iconic.
So with everything going on in our nation, I feel like I have to share why I should not be drafted for World War III. Number one, and perhaps the most important, I'm literally just a girl. I don't really understand how these things work. Number two, I have a goal of making it to 100 coffee shops before I pass on from this earth, and I've only been to like 76. So just give me at least a little bit longer, because I do really want to meet that goal. Thank you for understanding. Number three, I am morbidly obese, and I do think that would hinder my help in the war. Obese as in when I put in my weight and height in a BMI calculator, it like flashes red and sends an ambulance to the house. Number four, who will clean up everybody's poop if I am at war? I work as a CNA and a nurse extern. I'm pretty good at cleaning up poop, and I don't think anybody else will want that job. Number five, I'm really not graceful at all. I do think that I would cause some issues. I can't be quiet. Number six, Zach doesn't know how to put up the laundry correctly, and that would just really cause me some mental stress knowing that I am at war and the closet doesn't look like it needs to. And number six, Beanie, my cat, will miss me. Thank you for your consideration.
What do y'all mean we at war and Congress did not approve? So what is the last straw for us to kick him out? He can just do whatever at this point? We at war. I might get trapped.
If you're one of those people that only show up to work half the time, don't worry. They ain't picking you to be drafted. They want people who actually show up. Because how can they count on you if you can't even show up to your job? Right? Why would they want to choose you? So don't worry. So all these people are like, oh my gosh, we're going to get drafted. This is terrible. They ain't picking you. If you're one of those people that only show up half the time, just keep doing you and you won't get drafted. Okay, so just be unproductive as you normally are anyway. So, yeah, that's all I got.
You just been drafted to the United States Army. Congratulations, sir.
No, this is the wrong number. I got asthma. You don't want me.
That's fine, sir. We have special asthma pumps.
I'm depressed.
We got therapy.
I got anxiety.
We got weed.
I broke my leg just now.
Don't worry, 6 months you'll be ready to go in no time, sir.
Fuck.
What would you do if you were drafted for war?
There's a lot of talk right now about America going to war, like we haven't been at war for the past 50 years. I was born in 1946, it makes me a boomer, and I was draft eligible for the Vietnam War. Fortunately, I didn't get drafted, didn't have to go. But I had a brother 2 years younger than me. He was 19 when he went to Vietnam. Like 58,000 others, he didn't come home. I've lost another best friend, more like a brother than a friend. He died 4 months later in Vietnam. I lost two. I would like for somebody to tell me what that was about. They told us we were fighting communism. We were fighting it there so we wouldn't have to fight it here. I suppose the Vietnamese are going to get in their dugout canoes and paddle across the Pacific and turn us into communists. I don't know. I've had a lot of years to reflect on that war and the other wars that we've had, and it seems to me that they're not about what we're told they're about. They're more about making rich men richer. They're more about supporting the military-industrial complex. And more of the folks in America are waking up to that fact. I think I've been aware of it for a long time. Well, my advice to anyone who's draft age these days would be don't go. And it's not because I'm not patriotic. It's not because I wouldn't defend this country. In fact, if they were landing on our shores, which is highly unlikely to ever happen, I'd grab my gun and I'd go. 77 years old, but I would defend this country if it came to that. I think we could probably put a couple million people on either coast within 24 hours. Well-armed men who'd fight to protect this country. But it's not about defense. It hasn't been about defense for a long time. In fact, I'd like for somebody to tell me the last time that we actually defended America. So my advice to young men of draft age would be boycott. Don't do it. Don't go. Now, we'll all go if we ever need to.
I think what that gentleman said was very well said. He made a lot of good points. Is this even our war?
Alright, so you know how Trump's like starting this fucking war and shit. All I'm saying is this. The people that voted for him, like, they should be the ones drafted first. Like, 100%. You guys are so rah for him. Alright, well, go over there. Go. Honestly, don't even get drafted. Like, volunteer. Say, like, I choose to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that sound good?
Get ready with me for my first ever World War. So I got drafted for World War III, and honestly, I am not excited about it because the outfit they want me to wear is literally so disgusting. So I decided to put together my own little army fit that I thrifted at Crossroads because while some people serve in the military, I'm gonna be serving in the military. So after putting together the cutest little military fit, I decided to make one last trip to Air One because if I'm never gonna see civilization again, I want at least one last Haley Bieber smoothie. And while I was there, I picked up some more supplies like this yerba mate tea and obviously sea moss because if I'm gonna be fighting on the battlefield, I'm gonna need a lot of energy. And I know I need to stay hydrated, so I picked up some coconut water and this $20 glass bottle of water because there is no way I'm drinking from a canteen because that's literally disgusting. And finally, I picked up some bamboo paper towels because I know it gets messy on the battlefield, which is why I also picked up some veggie wash to clean my weapon with because I don't want my gun to jam while I'm in the middle of combat. So I was super happy with my haul until I heard some fighter jets overhead, and as I was putting my groceries away, I realized I forgot forgot to get my Hailey Bieber smoothie. That's when a nuke went off right in front of me, which killed my vibe and made me realize war is not it.
Since I know y'all over there drafting a draft for the war, I just want to give y'all a list of people that I think y'all should put before me, okay? I want to be last off the page, on the back page of the other page, last of the list. First on the list should be all the Trump supporters. The Latinos for Trump, the blacks for Trump, the Asians for Trump, the whites for Trumps, the roaches for Trumps. All the Trump supporters needs to go. They need to be first on the fucking draft list. I think it's only right, bitch. They fight for their people. They put in the fucking office, not me. After that, it should be anybody that said New Orleans food is fucking nasty. Because at that point, if they think our food is fucking nasty, they mean they just think everybody else shit is good. They could go. They go for anything. Okay, they could go. Third on my list is all the colorists. All the niggas that sit there and say they don't like dark-skinned women and have no logic behind it because they hate their fucking mama. They could go. Y'all taking up space for no fucking reason. Then y'all can put them dumbass bitches who say he know where home is. Because at that point, the fucking house is abandoned, but they still waiting on the porch. Them hoes will go for anything. They could be on the front line. I'm telling you, they will go for anything. As long as they nigga know where home is, they don't know where their home is. So they can just fight for anybody. And right behind them could be some of them fucking tax preparers that's scammers. You know, try to get you $20,000, but you ain't got no churn, you ain't got a house, but you barely had a job. Get them bitches, especially that bitch that tried me too. Put her on the list. And then right behind them is any bitch who sits here and watch Law and Order and talking about something. Ooh, Olivia worked my nerves. I don't like her. She's not in my top 5. That bitch could go. Them bitches could go for sure. Because what is you talking about? That's Olivia Benson, bitch. She been carrying this fucking show for how long? And you talking about she not one of your top favorite characters on Law and Order SVU? Sorry, sweetheart. You are a special victim. You got to be real special to think that stupid shit.
If you are a guy from 18 to 25, you can be drafted. And no, if you're in school, they just allow you to finish the semester or graduate if you're a senior. But if you have a job or any of that, you can still be drafted by good old Uncle Sam.
My World War III draft picks. Cave divers. We can have them digging around like the Vietnamese strat. They can also go into like the caves and find new entries. Granted, half of them are going to get stuck in the caves, but we do not need that hobby to be a thing anymore. This is my attempt at getting rid of them. Next pick. LA and New York fashion designers. We need to be aesthetically pleased in our uniforms. When you're out training, when you're out on the field, you need to have some sense of humanity. And some of the only things you have are your comrades and your clothes. And I'm tired of them trying to sell me an $80 t-shirt. Honorable mention, YNs. F students are inventors. They're gonna figure out how to put a clip and a switch. And then in the meantime, make a sawed-off sniper rifle. Terrible mentions, me and the homies. Everyone's gone. Who's gonna keep the rest of the country entertained? That's all I got.
I know one damn thing. They better draft every maggot, every white nationalist, every white supremacist, every black MAGA, every Republican child of Congress, every Republican member of Congress. They better draft their asses first on those front lines. They want to be patriots. They want to be complicit. They want to vote for this bullshit. Draft all their asses first. Let's see how much of a patriot their asses are then, whatever the hell you want, however you want to say it. Send all their asses to the front line. Let's see how much patriotism they have then. Fuck this shit.
Will you allow this country to draft you in war?
I have 2 questions about the potential draft and World War III, and they're serious questions. I'm not joking around. I do not know the answer to this, and I'm hoping that someone out there is educated in these topics and can give an explanation to me, because I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, question number 1. Historically, when men were drafted for war, a lot of women joined the workforce for the first time in their lives to fill a gap, particularly in things like manufacturing, things that have to carry on in your country while the majority of the young men are at war. The women stepped up and went to work. How would that work now when the majority of women are already in the workforce? Like, how would we fill that gap? Because we no longer have this little population of people who are just around and available to join the workforce. So that's my first question. Question number 2 is about the economy in general and how anyone could afford to be drafted. I understand that there is some money that goes to people who are drafted, maybe during the war being fought, maybe it comes after the war being fought, but you know it's not going to be like the full salary that you are making at your job right now. And how I think this differs from what, like World War II, for example, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I'm not the expert in this, but the age range that gets drafted, assuming we would stick to that because it makes the most sense for like your age and your health, that would be mostly millennials and a little bit Gen Z. And we are like the poorest generation existing right now, but also we're kind of the poorest generation to ever have existed in modern history. Meaning a lot of us don't own homes. A lot of us don't have savings. A lot of us don't know how
Wow, those were really good questions. I mean, who knew that if someone is in the military war and they go and serve, that their bills still have to be maintained as if they were actually here? I didn't know. I never thought of that. That's a good question. Anybody have a comment? Please put it in the comment section. Let me know. I never heard of that. I never thought of that. Never ever planned to see a war.
Keep seeing these TikToks for this draft. They're going to do a draft, right? They're going to draft all these kids off to war. I'm just telling you right now, none of them are going to go. They're just not going to go. What are you worried about? No one's drafting your kids. You know why? Because they're not going to fucking go. These kids aren't going. How are they going to notify them that they've been drafted? The mail? You think these kids are out checking the fucking mail? They don't leave their goddamn bedrooms. And they wouldn't be worth a shit anyways, most of them. You want to draft these kids, figure out a way for them to fly drones from their fucking bedroom. Or operate some kind of a fucking robot soldier from their bedroom. And you could probably get them to do that. They'll participate that way. But if you just think everyone, man and woman in America between 18 and whatever the fuck age, are gonna just go to war because you said, oh, you gotta, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard. You can't get these kids to fucking do it. They're not even paying their fucking student loans. You think they're gonna fucking go to war because the government said so? Y'all are fucking tripping.
He said tripping.
You will be the soldiers of World War III. I'm talking to everyone in a NATO country between the ages of 18 and 26 years old. Listen closely.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Now, I know you ain't talking to my old ass anyway, but he's trying to say that they're going to bring the draft back because of how aggressive Russia's been. I don't care what Russia's doing. I don't care what Iran and Israel are doing. They're not bringing back the draft. It's not happening. Also, Trump gave everyone a get out of draft free card recently. Go ahead and call those selective service numbers. We're all trans now. I'd be showing up in a dress. Sorry, guys. I'd love to help. My name's no longer Daryl. I'm Darylene. You're going to have to leave me out of this one. But like I said, it's not happening anyway. Now, I ain't saying we ain't going to go to war. Kind of leaning that way. But there's not going to be a draft. Also, we wouldn't be going to war with Russia anyway. Donald Trump bends the knee to Russia. If anything, he'd send our soldiers to go fight for him. Like he might do with Israel, because he also bends the knee to Israel.
Oh, okay. Anybody that's in, if you can hear my voice, if you have never seen the show MASH, M-A-S-H, go and pull up as many episodes as possible. There's a character called Klinger. I think it's Klinger. Anyway, he wore a dress. Obviously, the person who is in charge of this country did not like that character. Go watch MASH. The last episode, don't watch that one. That was very, very sad. But all the ones that involve Klinger, brush up on history. That's a good one. Yeah. What that dude said in the last clip, MASH, Klinger, it all comes together. Those people won't be drafted. Put on a dress. Go against everything that Cat Williams said. This is your opportunity for success. Okay, back to the video.
Hi, good morning, sir. We are here to gather men for drafting war. Here are your papers. Start packing.
I don't know what this is.
Sir, according to your medical history, you have no health issues at all. Sir, I have your medical history right here.
That's not mine. It's not mine. I don't know.
Sir, what are you doing?
Who fuck sent you? Who fuck sent you?
Okay, I'm gonna need you to come with me.
I know my last post might have scared you because I talked about Gen Z boys getting ready for the draft, but honestly, the likelihood that they will institute the draft is quite low. However, I want to let you know that I do think that now, in this timeline, is the absolute perfect time to bring up the fact that in the course of history of the United States, there have been people of color, people from marginalized communities, people who a lot of the red meat
denim wearing, red state, Christian, nationalist Republicans have always thought we're not truly American, including immigrants like myself, people of color, black people, member of the LGBTQIA community, including trans individuals, immigrants, children of immigrants, people who are non-Western European, so meaning Russians, Estonians, people from Georgia, folks like that, Jewish people, and a bunch of people who, even though they are either naturalized or natural born soil Americans, those people have never thought of us as true Americans, despite the fact that a lot of us do actually serve in America. I shared a post recently of Emily Schilling, who was one of the named plaintiffs in a lawsuit where Pete Hegseth had tried to remove trans members, even though they have something like 85 plus years, and that's just the named plaintiffs. That doesn't include the actual other members. And Emily Schilling, the government spent $20 million to train her. They want to remove all of those people. So you have all those people who trans, all the black people, including Tuskegee Airmen and Jackie Robinson, whose contribution were actually removed from U.S. government and military websites owing to Donald Trump's anti-DI initiatives. He's trying to roll back medical research that helps people like me who have sickle cell trait. My sister has sickle cell, because those things help black people, or any program that redresses or allows or recognizes the needs or interests or supports women, marginalized community, Latinos, black people, all of us. All of our contribution, he wants to actively oppress, remove, dismantle, defund, not recognize, tear down. He's removing them from the country, despite the fact that undocumented people contribute like something billions of dollars to the tax base, to federal and state taxes, including use taxes and sales taxes that they don't recoup back. All of our contribution. At the same time, now you bomb, and who are going to be impacted? Some of the ground troops. Now, while Iran may not have capability to affect us in the continental, there are ground troops of people of this community that he's been antagonizing and trying to like legitimately harm and like end. They are now at risk because of his actions and activities. So now is the time to point out to the MAGAs, to the Gen Z boys, to the black MAGA, Latino MAGA who voted for him, to say that, to point out that you're voting for someone who does not recognize your humanity, who wants to strip you from humanity. And while they're doing that, now going to put you at risk and expect those people to potentially die or have their lives ended if Iran strikes back and attacks one of those. There will be blood on his hands of people from the community that he's actively working to marginalize, oppress, suppress, and just like remove and oppress so much to the point that he silenced them. So yeah, while there may not be a draft, and I've seen a few people say that we're like, people called me, say I'm being hyperbolic, or folks like say we're being dumb, whatever. No, we're going to use this opportunity. There's no better time, because the timelines are crossed. You're actively working to oppress people, and then at the same time you're putting their lives in danger and expecting them to go. And I had heard from some members of the military say, we don't like this, but if we speak up, and I'm going to do a post on that later, we can get court-martialed, we can get in trouble. We signed up to join the military to serve the people. We didn't sign up to serve Donald Trump, but here we are. We didn't sign up to go have to round up and attack civilians who all they're doing is protesting. We don't want to take orders to hurt people. We don't know constitutional. You're not supposed to take any orders that's supposed to hurt civilians if you sign up for the military. But that's technically, a lot of things I tell you, technically they can't do this, whatever, but they're doing it anyway, and they're just risking, they're going to get lawsuits. All this stuff's going to happen on the back end. But right now, while we're in the moment, now is the time to point out that. So long story short, most likely there won't be a draft immediately, but you best believe we need to scare all of the MAGAs and let them know that it's potential, because it could happen. If it can't happen, they need to go to front lines first. The end. I hope that was helpful.
Why the fuck is everyone in the United States of America so afraid to go to war? I'm not going to reveal any of my private information, but I just got this in the mail. And basically, this is a form, if you see, selected service, system, United States government. This is to go into war to fight. When I got that shit in the fucking mail, I filled that shit out immediately. Iran is on some hoe ass shit. I don't know what the fuck they think they're on, but all I gotta say is this. Last one to get drafted is a rotten egg. Last one to get drafted is a rotten egg. I'm getting drafted first, bro. I'm ready to go to fucking war and put some fucking Iranians in the fucking dirt. Try and play with the big USA. I'm putting some fucking Iranians in the fucking dirt, man. Wanna talk all that crazy tough shit, bro? Y'all are not on nothing, bro. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait for this shit. You're outnumbered. You're fucked, bro. You're done for. I don't understand how Americans are scared. Iran should be fucking scared.
Hey, can I get $1? Just give me $1. That's all I need. All I need is $1. Can I get $1, please?
Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was all over the place with people for, well, the last guy was for, but I wasn't sure. The guy before the last guy was for. Wasn't sure if he was being serious or not. The last guy is how I'd be acting if I was in that age group, and I feel just horrified for anybody's child to be faced with this situation. I don't know. America does not have anything to do with what the plan is, but at the end of the day, they're protecting the private school kids and the senators and the politicians' kids and letting them go to college and whatever. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that person who is in charge of this country, I'm gonna just leave it right there. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Let's grow this channel. Let's support each other. I will see you in the next video. Thank you. TSWX. Don't forget.